Funds received through Russian digital account have crossed $1 billion. Prime Minister Imran Khan in a tweet said he would like to thank overseas Pakistanis for their overwhelming response and also appreciate the efforts of State Bank of Pakistan and banks for achieving this significant milestone in such a short period.
Talking about COVID situation now, another 157 deaths due to coronavirus were reported in the country during last 24 hours. According to latest data of National Command and Operations Center, 5,908 new positive cases were diagnosed after 52,402 tests conducted in the same period. The death toll has now reached to 16,999 and the positivity ratio remains at 11.27%.
Prime Minister Imran Khan warned that if SOPs are not followed, the government will be forced to impose lockdown in major cities. Briefing media after the National Coordination Committee meeting, Prime Minister Imran Khan said if the current trend of infections continues in Pakistan for 2 more weeks, we will be in a situation similar to India. Keeping in view the rising infections, the Prime Minister announced that Army will now be helping civil administration in enforcing SOPs. Imran Khan said lockdown will affect the downtrodden segments of the society, and if we continue to violate the SOPs, the government will not be left with any other option but to go for lockdown.
National Command and Operations Center has issued fresh instructions related to controlling coronavirus spread in Islamabad. The latest decision will come into force from today. According to latest decisions of NCOC, all kinds of educational institutions, schools in Islamabad will remain closed, including classes from 9th to 12th. Educational institutions are advised to shift to online learning only. All types of indoor and outdoor dining shall remain banned. However, takeaways and home delivery shall be allowed. All indoor gyms will remain closed. All activities, including commercial activities, markets, markers will also be banned and closed from 6 p.m. till Sehri. Only exemptions will be to the essential services defined as petrol pumps, medical stores and health facilities, vaccination centers, etc. Saturdays and Sundays will be observed as closed days or lockdown days. There shall be a complete ban on all activities, including commercial activities, during closed days. Only exemptions are given to the essential services, as we were telling you earlier, defined as petrol pumps, medical stores and health facilities. Also, public transport coming to and leaving from Islamabad will be closed on 2 closed days, and ban has been imposed on all kinds of weddings, contact sports, festivals, political, religious, cultural gatherings of any sort. Compulsory wearing of mask will remain enforced. This order will come into force from today and will remain enforced till 17th of May 2021.
Amid a spike in coronavirus cases, Pakistan's Civil Aviation Authority has extended travel restrictions for international passengers arriving from 23 Category C countries, including India, until the 30th of this month. According to a list attached by Aviation Division and a brief press note, only Pakistanis, diplomatic passport holders and their families would be allowed to enter Pakistan under certain SOPs, including 72-hour-old PCR test before boarding a flight to Pakistan. Whereas the passengers coming from 20 Category A countries, including China and Saudi Arabia, do not require COVID-19 PCR test before entering to Pakistan. It said that all countries not specified in Categories A and C fell in Category B. Prime Minister Imran Khan has tweeted this a short while ago that he wants to express our solidarity with the people of India as they battle a dangerous wave of COVID-19. Our prayers for a speedy recovery go to all those suffering from the pandemic in our neighborhood and the world. We must fight this global challenge confronting humanity together. Now, to talk more about this, we've been joined on telephone line by our correspondent Shabir Ahmed Bagra. Okay, so Shabir, what has the Prime Minister exactly said in his on his tweet, with regards to the situation of COVID-19 in India?
Yes, Prime Minister in his tweet, he categorically expressed his solidarity with the people of India, especially as we know that they are battling a very dangerous second wave of COVID-19. And we also know this that now almost the daily cases has surged to 350,000 daily new cases, almost more than 300,000 daily. It's occurring. So on that, Prime Minister has expressed his solidarity, and also he prays for a speedy recovery of all those suffering from the pandemic, not only in our neighborhood but also the world. And he also said that all the countries must fight this global challenge confronting the humanity together. And not only Prime Minister said this, earlier Foreign Minister also, he also tweeted about this, and he extend his solidarity and heartfelt sympathies to the Indian people, families affected by India. And also he said that SARC, he said that it is a reminder that especially humanitarian issues required responses beyond political considerations. And he again emphasized that Pakistan continues to work with SARC countries to foster cooperation to tackle the pandemic. So the Pakistani leadership, starting from the Prime Minister Imran Khan, they have expressed their solidarity, their sympathies, and pray for the people, Indian people who are acutely suffering with this second wave, and the situation in India is very alarming during this second wave of COVID-19.
Okay, Shabir, thank you very much for those details. Prime Minister Imran Khan has expressed support with the people of India as they battle a dangerous wave of COVID-19. Now, before that, as Shabir was telling us, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi also extended his support to the people of India in the wake of the current wave of COVID-19 infections that has hit South Asian region hard. He said on behalf of the people of Pakistan, he extends heartfelt sympathies to the affected families in India.
Now, as we were talking about India's healthcare system is buckling as a record surge in COVID-19 cases puts pressure on hospital beds and drains oxygen supplies. For the third day running, India's daily COVID-19 infection tally remained higher than ever recorded anywhere in the world, as Friday saw 345,159 new infections across the country. Daily deaths touched yet another new national record, with 2,622 people losing their lives on Friday, even as Delhi lost its highest ever single-day death toll of 348. For the first time since the start of this outbreak, India reported more than 2 million cases in just 7 days. Cases have surged during India's second wave, driven by a number of factors. Health protocols have been lax, with mask mandates sporadically enforced. Millions of people attended a Hindu festival, the Kumbh Mela, which culminated 10 days ago with a mass dip in the river Ganges. New strains of virus have emerged, including a double mutant strain. Bollywood composer Shravan Rathore tested positive shortly after returning from the city where the Kumbh Mela was held, and died not long after his family confirmed. As well as the Indian double mutant strain, the UK strain is the primary variant found in the state of Punjab. National Centre for Disease Control Director Sujit Kumar Singh told local media.
Pakistan has urged Afghan Taliban to participate in negotiations to bring a permanent peace and stability in Afghanistan. Addressing a joint news conference with his Turkish and Afghan counterparts in Istanbul, Qureshi said Afghan people should benefit from the golden opportunity to bring peace in their country. He said there is no military solution to the Afghan conflict, as the talks are the only way forward. The foreign minister said the conflict harms Pakistan the most after Afghanistan. Shah Mahmood said a peaceful, stable Afghanistan is in the best interest of Pakistan. He stated that illegal migration, security and refugee issues came under discussion during the trilateral meeting. Earlier addressing the meeting, Qureshi called for promoting institutionalized cooperation among Afghanistan, Pakistan and Turkey to improve the security situation in the region. Afghan Foreign Minister Muhammad Hanif Atmar participated in the conference through video link. Foreign Minister Qureshi also held bilateral talks with his Turkish counterpart Mevlut Cavusoglu and is expected to meet Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The trilateral process among Pakistan, Afghanistan and Turkey was established in 2007.
On the other hand, Petroleum Division awarded 6 more oil and gas blocks to 3 leading companies aimed at achieving self-sufficiency in the energy sector by increasing exploration and production activities in potential areas of the country. Minister for Energy Hamad Azhar witnessed the signing ceremony of petroleum concession exploration licenses of 6 oil and gas blocks held at the Petroleum Division. Speaking on the occasion, Hamad Azhar said these efforts will bear fruit for the country in the form of additional hydrocarbon reserves during next few years. DG Petroleum Concession highlighted that the minimum firm work commitment for these blocks is $24.68 million for 3 years. He said companies are obligated to spend a minimum of $30,000 per year in each block on social welfare schemes.
Country Director of the World Bank Group, Naji bin Hassin, made a courtesy call on the Federal Minister for Finance and Revenue, Shaukat Tareen, at the Finance Division. The Finance Minister lauded the swift and timely assistance extended by the World Bank Group for stimulating economic recovery during COVID-19 pandemic. He reiterated the firm resolve of the government in achieving macroeconomic stability and sustained economic growth by following a consultative process. Tareen apprised the country director that the first Economic Advisory Council meeting had decided to work towards reinvigorating the productive sectors of the economy. The country director felicitated the finance minister on assuming his new responsibility and thanked the government of Pakistan for continuous support and facilitation in completion of ongoing projects and programs.
Quetta was targeted by the enemies of Pakistan recently, but as always, residents of Quetta and Balochistan, just like other Pakistanis, have shown resilience and cohesion by bouncing back bravely. More in the following report by our special correspondent Raza Khan from Quetta.
Viewers, an unfortunate incident took place in Quetta, but let's give a heads up and salute to the people of Quetta. They have bounced back, and they've bounced back big time, and a great deal of effort has been put in, not only by the management of the place where this occurred. So let's talk to the leader of the whole of Serena, South Central Asia, Mr. Aziz Bulani. Sir Aziz, despite an unfortunate incident, we see people turning up in large numbers. I think this speaks volumes for not only your team, but also the residents of Quetta and the people of Balochistan. And Serena has always been in the forefront of the soft face in Islamabad as well. When we talk to you, we usually speak about this. What message would you like to give to the people of Pakistan on this?
Now, I must salute the people of Balochistan, particularly Quetta. You have seen the resilience amongst them. Hotels without the guest means nothing. It's not the product itself which matters. It's the people who makes it lively, who makes it really comfortable and satisfactory. We have always taken a step ahead of others in ensuring that we maintain and improve the image of the country, because Pakistanis, they are hospitable, we are people, they are very dedicated, they are very hardworking. The way my team, they have transformed this property in last 12 hours is amazing. I have high regards for them. They are amazingly hardworking, brave people who work day and night in putting up these repair works and replacements. And today, not only today, even yesterday, you should have seen, mashallah, the iftar was packed. And this shows the resilience amongst the people and their confidence on us that we represent them. We are for the people, and this place is for the people who makes it lively. And we will continue to, inshallah, operate in this serene environment.
Viewers, this was our conversation with Mr. Aziz Bulani, the CEO of Serena, South Central Asia. What it shows is basically a nation that is resilient, that is willing to stand up to the enemies of Pakistan. So be that our Prime Minister or the Chief Minister of Balochistan, everybody, or the armed forces and the hoteling industry, they're all on one page, and that is to showcase the best possible face of Pakistan, and the whole of the world needs to know that Pakistanis love peace, they mean peace, and they stand for peace. This is Raza Khan reporting for PTV World.
A demonstration was held near Faisal Mosque, Islamabad, to express solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. According to Kashmir Media Service, the demonstration was organized by All-Party Surat Conference, Azad Jammu and Kashmir branch. Head of Peace and Cultural Organization Mashan Malik, Muhammad Hussain Khatib and Sayyid Faz Naqshbandi in their address called upon the international community to stop India from changing the status of occupied Jammu and Kashmir. A signature campaign was also launched on this occasion.
British, Pakistanis and Kashmiris held protest demonstrations in different cities of UK against Indian atrocities in occupied Kashmir. Central leaders of Tehreek-e-Kashmir UK, including Raja Fahim Kiani, Mohammad Shabir, Chaudhry Allah Tita, Azam Farooq, Chaudhry Muhammad Ziyarat and Mohammad Javed Khan addressed the gatherings. The leaders said that India cannot demoralize the Kashmiri people with military oppression. They said the people of Kashmir will never compromise their inalienable right to self-determination.
International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace is being observed today. In his video message marking the day, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for strong multilateral action to address the common crises and threats that the international community is facing. He said they need strong multilateral action to emerge from the pandemic safely, to address the climate crisis, and to build stronger, safer communities and societies. The UN Secretary General said the COVID-19 pandemic is a tragic reminder of how deeply connected they are, and there is a clear and urgent need for concrete multilateral solutions based on common action across borders for the good of all humanity, starting with the equitable distribution of vaccines as a global public good.
Now, the delegation of Sri Lankan Buddhist monks arrived at a rock-carved Buddha at Jahanabad in the Savat Valley today, where they also offered their rituals. The Buddha figure is about 7 meters in height and is certainly the most impressive piece of sculpture to be seen in Gandhara region. The excellent figure of the Buddha is seated on a high throne in the attitude of mediation. The image of Buddha carved on the rock at Jahanabad on 7th AD, this huge image of Buddha can also be visible from the road on the right side. One is on the way to Malam Jaba. Meanwhile, the delegation of Sri Lankan Buddhist monks visited Swat Museum, where they witnessed antique objects of Gandhara sculptures.
Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga has declared a state of emergency in Tokyo, Osaka, and 2 other prefectures in an attempt to combat a surge in coronavirus cases 3 months before the Tokyo Olympics is set to open. Under the new state of emergency, which affects a quarter of Japan's population and is set to run from April 25th to May 11th, the government will require restaurants, bars, and karaoke parlors serving alcohol to close and big sporting events to be held without spectators. Japan has so far avoided an explosive spread of the pandemic that has crippled many countries. There have been a total of about 550,000 cases and 9,761 deaths, which is significantly lower than the numbers seen in other large economies.
The head of World Health Organization said coronavirus vaccines remain out of reach in the poorest countries, marking the first anniversary of the COVAX dose sharing facility. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has repeatedly denounced inequities in vaccine distribution and urged wealthier countries to share access doses to help inoculate health workers in low-income countries. Tedros told a virtual news conference the solution is straightforward. We need countries and companies that control the resources that could save lives to share. More than 3.2 million people have died in pandemic worldwide.
Three of the students kidnapped by gunmen in northern Nigeria earlier this week have been shot dead, a local official said. Kaduna State's Internal Security and Home Affairs Commissioner Samuel Aruwan said the armed bandits who kidnapped students of Greenfield University have shot dead 3 of the abducted students. Arwan said that an unspecified number of students had been taken in the Wednesday evening attack.
An Air Force of Zimbabwe helicopter crashed, killing 3 crew members and a child on the ground as it came down on a house in Arcturus. The Air Force said in a statement the helicopter was on a training mission with 2 pilots and a technician when it disappeared on the radar. Zimbabwe's Air Force complains that its helicopters and fighter jets are old, but they have not been able to buy new ones due to sanctions by Western countries.
In a normal year, up to 100,000 people flock to the forest of Hellerbos, 15 kilometers south of Brussels, to admire its carpet of bluebells. But this year, fears that crowds of visitors could pose a risk of coronavirus infection have pushed the local authorities to issue a warning for people to stay away. The flowers bloom in the ancient forest are a famed tourist attraction, but the authorities have expressed concerns that the paths could become crowded, particularly at weekends. The authorities have closed car parks. The bus which brings visitors to the wood from the station has been cancelled.
Now, 6 cats of popular pedigree breeds confiscated in a drug bust case in eastern Thailand were sold at around $3,000 to the highest bidder at an auction sponsored by Thai police. The cat's new owner, who runs a popular Facebook page for cat fanatics, said she's very happy. The cats, including 5 of the Scottish Fold breed and 1 Bengal, were confiscated in March following a raid at a house in Thailand's Rayong province that belonged to a woman suspected of involvement in drug trafficking. The cats finally have a new home that will be shared with owners' 20 other cats.
Zimbabwe beat Pakistan by 19 runs in the second T20 International in Harare and leveled the 3-match series 1-all. PTV Sports telecast the match live. Batting first, Zimbabwe scored 118 for 9 in allotted 20 overs. Tinashe Kamuna Hukuma scored highest 34 and Regis Chakaba 18. For Pakistan, Danish Aziz and Mohammad Hasnan took 2 wickets each. Later, Pakistan were bowled out for just 99 in 19.5 overs. Skipper Babar Azam made 41 while Danish Aziz 22, but all in vain. Pakistan middle order failed once again as only 3 batsmen reached double figures. For Zimbabwe, man of the match Luke Jongwe bagged 4 while Ryan Burl took 2 wickets. The third and final T20 will be played tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Pakistan skipper Babar Azam said the team's performance that led to the defeat against Zimbabwe was an eye-opener ahead of the T20 International World Cup. Expressing his disappointment in a video posted on Twitter, he said they chased 200 against South Africa, so they should have chased 119 runs, but they played poor cricket. The skipper said not only had the middle order collapsed, but the team's batsmen were not able to put up a good performance as they used to in the past. The captain said the wicket was the same as the last match where Pakistan defeated Zimbabwe and noted that the blame cannot be shifted to the pitch.